I'm doing a show. Use this part in the video. Yeah, I told you. Tell her.
Use this part in the video.
Why do you sound Australian when you act like Bronny? Do that again.
I did sound Australian, didn't I? Yeah.
Hey, hi. This is TexAgs Rewind. Hey, Bronny doesn't sit like the Terminator. Well, okay, maybe he does. I just don't want to get punched. All right, so today on the show it is Tuesday. A lot of talking in the background during this awesome show. Okay, lots of talking. All right, let's see if they're paying attention. Catch. Please don't break anything. Oh, wow, it worked. It worked. All right, that's enough for the special effects. 21-21, we did Ainias Smith, who can do a little bit of...
everything.
Thank you, Bronny. Go Hour, we had our Heisman candidates. We broke that down around the league, and I think there's a way that an Aggie or two could get in that mix. Charean Williams talked a little Aggies, and Saturday Down South, Connor O'Gara has the Aggies going 10-2, but winning against Bama and losing against Arkansas, everybody went crazy. Ainias Smith, we talked about him as I don't want to call him a dark horse candidate for Heisman. I don't even know if he's in that mix, but I use that term because of where I think A&M is going as a team and what he means to this team. And OB, I don't think he's underrated, but I think outside of College Station, people don't recognize sometimes the importance that he brings, the versatility that he brings to this team.
Well, he's really good. There's no doubt about it. He's versatile, like you said, and he does a whole lot for the team. To be a Heisman contender, and I know you aren't saying that you're predicting it. You're just saying
no.
It
I'm
could
just saying
happen.
he's got the kind of versatility that people like.
He would have to raise his numbers, which he will, because again, some conferences had still played at least one game against the not the lesser non-conference opponents. Well, they never did that. They played a full SEC schedule, and he catches 43 passes. There's that's nothing to sneeze at. 564 yards receiving, but on top of that, remember so much time he spent in the backfield too. So he wasn't always a receiver. So I could see him starting the conversation, just starting it at 60 catches for 700 yards. That's just starting. I mean, to me, that's the floor. And then, I'm sure he'll carry some, whether on, lining up in the backfield or some kind of reverse or something like that.
Sure. Is there a person that you think, this is probably the front runner? Because I know we spent a lot of time on Aggie perspective on it.
I think the guy that's going to be the favorite is Spencer Rattler.
Yep.
He's going to check all the boxes. He puts up big numbers. Again,
plays for Oklahoma.
He plays for Oklahoma, which is probably going to win the Big 12, which is going to be they're ranked high. I've said it before. The quarterback of a national championship contender is almost always a Heisman contender. He's going to put up big numbers. If for no other reason, his receivers are always going to be better than the guys that are covering them in the Big 12. So look for him to put up big numbers, have a chance to have a unbeaten or one-loss season. I can't imagine him losing twice. Can't see Texas beating him. Maybe Iowa State does. But I just think he has the position. More quarterbacks win than anything else. He has the schedule. He has a good team. And he's going to put up stats.
Yeah, a system that is quarterback friendly, that has put up stats. What about I always struggle saying his name, DJU?
Ugalali. Yeah.
Excuse me.
I think if anybody is going to be that guy out of the ACC, it'll be Sam Howell.
Yeah. I haven't watched him. I watched the highlights on YouTube. I don't think he's looked as bad as some of the way people are writing about, but the vibe out of Minnesota, he's struggling. What can you shed light to that, or what can you tell me about that?
Yeah, the problem is, David, it was just a practice time, right? He got COVID and missed 10 days of practice time. It's very valuable practice time. So he had 2 practices before the first preseason game. I didn't see all of the second preseason game. I'm with you. I just saw the highlights of that one. I haven't gone back to watch it. But he's a rookie in a rookie situation with no practice time. So I don't know what people expect when you don't practice and you're just in virtual meetings, and then you come out and play a game and then have another week of practice when you're the second string quarterback, and then you have another game. Of course you're going to struggle. I mean, this is not unexpected. He's not going to play. Minnesota does not want him to play this year. And then they go out and get a veteran, and people shouldn't panic if they go out and get a veteran. He's not going to be ready to play if Kirk Cousins is hurt. So they do need a veteran backup there just in case Kirk Cousins is hurt. So if they go and do that, it doesn't mean that they've written off Kellen Mond. It means that he's not ready to play in case Kirk Cousins gets hurt. And that very well could happen. He's going to sit and watch this year, and he's not going to get a ton of reps, and he better make the most. And we know he's a hard worker, but he better make the most of that time he gets after practice, before practice, whatever, putting that time in when he can by himself to get ready and get those reps that he needs, because he's not going to get many during the season. This is a learning year for him. There's no reason to panic after 2 preseason games that followed a handful of practices. He's got a long, long way to go.
Conversely, every time I get on social media, I see somebody tweeting about Buddy Johnson. This guy just continues to make plays over there.
Yeah. Yeah, he really does. And I think no one's going to be surprised in Aggie land when this guy comes in and lights it up. Perfect team, great defense. He's going to fit right in. I think he's going to be a candidate for Defensive Rookie of the Year just because that team around him is so good. It's going to allow him to make a lot of plays. We know what he can do. We've seen it. And I think Pittsburgh's learning that they had a really good draft pick there with Buddy Johnson.
I just want to hug an Aggie fan every time I look back at this projection that you were just talking about there, because for the sake of everyone listening to this, hopeful that this can be the year to get over the hump, to beat Bama, to get to an SEC championship, this would be the most painful possible result. And for your sake, I really hope that it doesn't play out this way.
Well, yeah, let's kind of get into it, because I think last year, and in fact, when I'm looking at some of the notes, you said you were dead wrong about the Aggies last year. So let's start with that. What were you wrong about?
I brought up this stat before. I did not like the belief that A&M was instantly going to get better just based on the schedule. And I didn't like putting them in the top 10 to come into the season, because the stat that I kept bringing up was in 2019, they played 300 minutes of football against teams that finished in the AP top 15, and they led for 7 minutes and 42 seconds of that time. That is not an elite team. And what they did last year at the start of the year, I'm like, look, you're seeing it. You see the struggles against Vandy. You see the second half against Alabama. And I'm like, look, this team is not on that level. And then they were. And then they figured it out. And they were absolutely an elite team. And by the end of the year, I'm banging the drum that they were more deserving of getting into the college football playoff than Notre Dame. That's how things can change when you have things built the right way. So I was dead wrong thinking that they had that type of upside. I was sort of out on Jimbo Fisher as one of these top 5 coaches in all of college football, but the adjustments that they made, especially with some of the injuries that they had at the pass catcher positions, I thought they just did a tremendous job of figuring out who they were and being able to beat teams week in, week out, and impose their will in a very 2010-like way. And I think that A&M moving forward, it has totally changed my perception of them, and that's why I have them with a higher ceiling going into this year than I did last year.
We're going to try this again. Can you do it non-Australian? Tell me what you're supposed to do as Bronny when you watch this video.
Like and subscribe.
Now try to go Australian.
I don't want to do that again. I got to get on the road, David. I got to get on the road.
All right,
I got to go watch these kids.
I felt your hot breath on my neck. That was gross. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, hit the like button, do all that good stuff. It is TexAgs Rewind.